What's going on, guys? This is Ketchup here once again, joined by OmegaK.
Hello.
We're gonna be doing a Quan Chi changes video once again. I think very similar to the Kano video. It's gonna be kind of tricky to do this cleanly. We're doing the beta, and obviously there's no training mode in the beta, so we're gonna have to kind of make this up as we go along in terms of how we're going to put this together. I'm just going to run over the changes Quan received. These changes did affect all three variations, but I'm going to focus on Sorcerer for obvious reasons, I guess. So let's talk about the big changes almost immediately. First things first, Trance has been changed. The Trance now, you recover from it slower, basically. As you can see, like, the time they have so they can recover and it takes for me to move is much longer. So basically either they recover quicker and it takes me longer to recover, or I just simply take longer to recover. So long story short, this basically means that I don't get any of my utility for free after I use a trance. If I try and use a trance into Hex like I could before, we'll try again. The timing's a bit weird. I'm still getting used to it, but so I'm gonna Hex and then hold it up. As you can see, he can actually move long before I can off a regular trance, which means that I can't do anything for free anymore. This applies for all three variations. Sorcerer cannot get a single spell for free after regular trance, and Summoner can no longer get a bat for free after regular trance either. So we need to change it up a little bit. This is where meter burn trance comes into play. So as you can see, if I meter burn trance and try and Hex, I can move long before he can. So what this means is, if I want to get a free spell or piece of utility, and this counts for Summoner and Sorcerer, if I want either a bat or a spell for free before the opponent recovers from the trance, I have to use a meter burn meter burn trance to do it. You can still get a restand off a regular trance, but you now have to go straight into your string into your reset. You can no longer get utility. It has to come from meter burn trance. So we're going to let the round play, and then we're going to talk about the next change, which is the rune. So the rune is also heavily changed. The rune is now -1 on block, so it is no longer plus. I'm going to quickly try and build some bar real quick. I'm just going to build some meter. Oops. Right. Let's keep going until we build a little bit of bar. Basically, meter burn rune is now -1 on block, down from plus however much it was before that guaranteed a 50-50 in some degree. That's now -1 on block, which means that if you try, just do slide, back forward, meter burn slide after I do a rune. I'm going to try and rune trap you as if I could before.
Oh, I need to block.
Remember.
How long are we playing this game for?
So that's how it used to go. That's how it used to go. But if he blocks the meter burn rune now, as you can see, the standing one doesn't even begin to come out because I'm 2-, basically. This means that as far as Summoner goes, or all three variations, he no longer guarantees anything after meter burn rune. That's just the way it is. And also, as far as Sorcerer goes, I can no longer do Hex into standing 3, into trance, into rune trap. If I try and do the same thing now, as you can see, just even regular slide beats it out because I am no longer plus on block. So the meter burn rune, also slightly different. Let me build a bar real quick, and I'm going to demonstrate the other change that was made to meter burn rune. So there is now, you can actually delay the meter burn rune to be at least +1, I believe. I've seen +7 thrown around, but unfortunately there's no way we can check it yet. But if I do rune, I can actually significantly delay it, as you can see there. That becomes slightly plus on block, but as far as I'm aware, not plus enough to guarantee anything. And like I said, I've heard people use +7. I'm not sure how accurate that is because we don't have the frame data for it yet, and we don't have the patch notes. But long story short, if you want to delay the rune to be plus rather than minus, there is now a gap in between the rune, meter burn rune. If you delay it, there is a gap. If you don't delay it, there's no gap as normal. So trance and rune were definitely the ones that took the big hits, that have basically changed how he plays. The other special move that has been adjusted universally is Skydrop. Skydrop actually starts up quicker than it used to. It isn't amazingly quicker, I will give you. Oh, we have a whole TeamSpeak thing right here. Sorry, I'm in the middle of recording. So basically, regular head stomp is faster than it used to be. Not amazingly faster, but still faster. And I do believe that if you instant air this, it is quicker. I mean, that looks quicker to me if you instant air the Skydrop. But either way, that basically means that it's still got armor when you meter burn it, and as you can see, starts up quite nicely speed-wise. So Quan has actually been given a wake-up attack in all three variations. It's just not as, I guess, potent as you would expect a regular wake up attack to be, because the sky drop is still about 30 frames on startup. Let's quickly double check. Sky drop, yeah, 38 frames startup across the board, so it's still, you know, completely stuffable. They're the big changes, I would say. Now, this is where Sorcerer comes into play. Sorcerer has been changed as well. If we look at his 3 spells, the spells have been changed. It says that his armor spell is now slightly longer to start up, although, to be honest, you don't really notice it at all. His Hex has been slightly sped up as well, and again, the startup time is rather similar. But here's the big change. His Black Magic down 1, the meter drain spell, which you would never use, has been significantly sped up. We're going to wait for the round to play, and I'm going to quickly talk about the use of the meter drain spell. So I'm going to go and straight away activate this. Bam! Really, really quick. Much faster. It's the fastest spell he's ever been able to summon, and if you look at the meter on the bottom right, I actually drain meter when I use specials on block now as well. This only ever used to drain meter on hit, but now I can use it basically as a zoning tool. If I'm full screen and I see a skull hit or block, bam, straight into it, and there really is nothing he's going to do to stop that. I can sit in it, zone him out as normal, and every time he gets hit or blocks, I do insane meter drain. This is basically one of the main changes to Sorcerer as far as I'm concerned. So the other spells are very, very similar. We're still in there when it comes to setting things up. For example, as you would have seen in my latest video, you can still do corner combos like, you know, back 3-2-4, 4 trance, you know, just to keep it simple. Let's do a 4-2-1-2-2, 1-1-4-1, still get free armor. That's no different now. And you know, the whole restand situation is unchanged as well. But here's where things have become slightly different for Sorcerer. I'm not going to elaborate massively, but I want to demonstrate the method basically. Build some meter on me. Actually, just beat me up and win the round. So, because of the changes to the way the trance works, and it's much harder to guarantee a hex now, Quan Chi has become less about the guaranteed block death he had from pre-patch Sorcerer with the hex spell, and it's now more about going for meter drain off a trance in general. So here's where things change. You can no longer do trance into hex. You can, however, do the meter burn trance. For example, I want you to just block after this, Omega, as if I'm going to rune trap you as normal. So if I catch you with a generic corner combo as I used to, hit confirm into meter burn trance, go for hex, standing, and then rune trap again. This is now where the pressure ends. So as you can see, it still did a nice chunk of damage, but this now cost me 2 bars of meter, and because I did it into the rune, I'm now -1. So everything ends there. Nothing is guaranteed after that point. So the old school rune trap is basically gone. It's been taken away due to the rune being different. However, now, if I just so happen to be sitting in the much easier to set up meter drain spell, you can go for a setup like this. End the combo in do trance, end the combo in this, which leaves us at neutral. If I then catch a 50-50, look how much meter I can drain. So we're going to wait for the spell to go. This is, imagine I've landed a regular setup. For example, now the meter drain spell allows Quan to do the following. So just as a generic thing right there, I spent 1 bar of meter to take away 1.5 bars of my opponent's meter. Obviously this is going to be optimized, and you know, I'm sure you can do much more from that. But the basic point here is that Quan Chi is much less about going in for the hex, and he's much more focused on being able to quickly summon a meter drain spell and then draining their meter on block or hit. The reason this has been changed, before I kind of cut this video off, the reason this has been changed around so much, I believe, is basically it's kind of almost reinvented a certain area of how we would play Sorcerer. So if you want a rematch real quick, Omega, the way we used to do it was armor above all situations, and then when you land a trance and you look at the opponent's health meter and the chip will kill them, that's when you would go in for your hex. Now, it's kind of hard to test his block pressure, because bear in mind, if you block this, Reese, the meter burn skull is still +16, but there's a lot of pushback. So he might still be able to guarantee some stuff, but you're going to have to go into meter burn skull rather than meter burn rune. However, we can't really test that yet because we lack a proper training mode in the beta. We can't test any kind of reversals yet to see if anything true jails. We're just going to have to wait until the game comes out for that. But now you basically have 2 things in the corner. When it comes to hitting the opponent and trying to armor up, we now no longer have the luxury of being able to go, I'm going to armor up in this situation and then leave you restanding. As you can see, he can move much longer before I can. So if I want to go for a restand option when it comes to the armor spell, I have to change things up a little bit. I have to acknowledge that I've used up too much gravity and I want the restand, hit confirm into meter burn trance, which still gives me a free spell, into a standing 3, which gives me free pressure while I'm in the armor. It's just been changed so that if I want to completely guarantee my armor spell of no cost to myself, I have no choice now but to go for the old school combo, which was this one right here, which is go for the forward to 1-2-2, 1-4-1 to get the airborne knockdown, which still guarantees it. This now just gives them the option to stand up, potentially wake up attack, potentially get out in some way. I just don't have the choice anymore. So that's how his corner game has been changed. What we do have now, though, is instead of being able to go, do I want to chip him out or do I want to go for my armor, I've been given the extra option of, because the meter drain spell is as strong now as it is, I now have a really good situation to go, well, if I just want to take your meter away, I can go for a knockdown, go for this instead, and then enforce the 50-50. If I see that hit and I have bar, I can then choose to instead sit in armor, I can knock you on the ground, and instead of sitting in armor for the reset, I can take away a ton of your meter. So basically, I do think that Sorcerer is still incredibly strong. Very, very, very strong variation still. He's just been changed. I don't even consider Sorcerer as a nerfed variation, I just consider it heavily altered. And that's basically it. So I'm sure there's more to it, but I really want to kind of go over the basics of this character. Basically, the cheap stuff doesn't come free anymore, unless you're Sorcerer and you get a 1-4-1 into armor. The main gist is, if you want to get the really, really cheap stuff, restands into guaranteed pressure into 50-50s, you've got to spend your resources to do it. If you want to make your 50-50 safe without bar in Summoner, you've got to use your bat. If you want to go for a free bat into pressure, you've got to spend a bar to do it. If I want to try and chip you out in Sorcerer, got to spend a bar on that meter burn trance, otherwise I'm not going to get anything. So basically, it's been changed so he's a bit more of a thinking man's character than he used to be. And that's basically it. Thank you very much, Omega, for sitting here and being my training dummy for this video.
Best training
it's
dummy
kind of tricky.
EU.
It's kind of difficult to do this without it, so thank you very much for that. Hopefully you guys learned a little bit about what has been changed about Quan. I'm sure I've missed a couple of things, but I really want to touch on Sorcerer above all else. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you later.